That, if you don't know, is a full tower AT case. The cover is over there. I have the original power supply. This is Soyo board, 100 megahertz, 66 megahertz bus. This was the processor I got it with. Right here, 333 Celeron. That's a Pentium 2. I'm going to try to keep this brief as I possibly can. This is about this board right here. This is an AT motherboard, slot 1, 66 or 100 megahertz bus. It takes SD-RAM, has 3 slots, has an AGP slot, has PCI, and that is a very antiquated AGP card. That's like a S3, I think 4 meg. Yeah, but it's a good tester, you know. 2D only. The problem was when I got this, I had this for a long time. I got the whole thing out of the garbage. Somebody's going to throw it away. I thought it was actually, I was at a gun range and I seen it in the back of somebody's truck. And I'm like, are you getting rid of those computers? He's like, yeah, it's my wife's garbage. It's like, there's an AT case. I'm like, I'll take that. You crazy? Can't find those anymore. And I don't think, whoever it was that had it, I don't think they realized that the problem was this. What is this? You might guess. An Intel Celeron, yes. 333. And you know what they were known for? To fail! Yeah, they were known to fail, yes. In fact, that was one of the first Intel processors that actually was known to fail. And before that, Intel's, you know, even still, they rarely fail. It was those slot 1 Celerons were like a real stinkers, you know? Especially the second generation. The first generation were gold. The 266 to 300 that overclocked to 400 and 450. Those were like, ooh, hey, you know, that's real gold, you know. And then they came out with these, and the very first generation of that 333 did overclock to 500 on some of them. It was by half of them, maybe 60%. And then they did something, and they wouldn't overclock anymore. Let's change the bus. And then a lot of them would just belly up anyway. And even some of those 300s would go dead, too. So they weren't made very well. Long story short, that's why. When I got thinking, you know, I forgot that those processors are known to go bad. So I just got a 350 Pentium 2 in the mail, popped it in, and I hooked it up to my second monitor here, and turned on my 750 ATX power supply that I hooked up temporarily because I didn't know if the AT worked or not. I know this works. I mean, this takes both. It has AT and ATX. So I think is it on? No. Is that ready to hook up? Maybe it's off. There we go. It's off. There we go. All right. So, should be booting up right now. No signal detected. Oh. If I had the video card hooked up. Yeah, there we go. There we go. There it is. Pentium 2 MMX at 233. When I change the bus, I think you got to change this bus on this. It'll boot up as a Pentium 2 350. That's how you change the speed of the old Celerons. You know, they're supposed to run a 66, and you change the bus to 100. But that's when Intel got caught on to that, and in the latest Celerons, you couldn't do that until you got the socket 370s, the latest socket 370s, especially the Tulatins. Those, man, I haven't had one running at like 1800 megahertz or something like that. It was like, what? It was a 1200. I was like, what? It was insane. I was like, it was just like 300. Anyway, so that was that. So this is probably going to be a 98 system, like an old school retro. Well, not even retro. It's the real deal. AT tower and everything. I hope the power supply works too. I've got the original AT power supply. And I got the original tower. So, you know, retro nothing, my friends. This is an original Windows 98 machine that's going to be running again soon. And that's all I got to say about that. I just figured, a few tips about these style of boards. Like I said, these AT boards are really tough. They're not like the, like the latest stuff from China. Most of these AT boards were not made in China. Very few of them. And hence they really don't go bad. I mean, a few of them might. Somebody might have made a mistake or something. Like the machine might have made a mistake when it printed the circuit or something. But most of the time, no. The failure rate is very low. So if you have one, this is where you want to triple check everything else. The power supply, the video card, the keyboard, anything but the motherboard. And even on the motherboard, check the battery. Make sure that there's not a bent pin or something. Because the board will probably work 99% of the time. The AT board. And that's all I get. This is all this video was about. This is, like I said, a Soyo 6YBB BX motherboard, slot 1. And it's a pretty decent board because it has 3 slots for memory. It has AT and ATX power supply input. It runs on a 66 or 100 megahertz bus. At AGP slot, 3 PCI and 2 ISA. Really not bad features. And it's an actual AT board, for the keyboard. That PS2. So it's an interesting old school board, Alright, that's it. Video over. If I was talking too much, tough shit. I know. Yeah, it's good. That's it for now.